right, my nigga. What are you?
We all have been seen.
Hold on. No. What are you talking about? You just threw that in there. You just threw an extra. Okay. Let me kill the mood before I get off. Well, not kill the mood, but I was supposed to get to this in the beginning of the stream because somebody sent it to me. It's not really a story time, but I came to a revelation when I was having a conversation with someone the other day. They sent me this link, right? Boom. No, I'm doing it. I was supposed to say it in the beginning of the stream, but I didn't know. Apparently, there's like mad niggas, like mad artists who have reposted Tory Lanez petition to be released. And I don't know what the motivations are. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to keep following it for as long as I can because at the end of the day, it's like you should have a track record of what people that you know, consume support and to what degree. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not bad to like see what the fuck going on. And so I'm not surprised at any of the names on here, to be honest. They also have plus more. I don't know what more means or what more is, to be fair. But I do know that I had a conversation with someone recently. And I hadn't seen this person in probably like 4 or 5 months. And we had a conversation. He was asking me, yo, like, how you been feeling about all this, like, man stuff? And I'm like, what you mean? And he was like, yeah, like, for some years now, like, all this stuff on social media and whatnot, you feel me? Like, it's been really kind of making me realize that, like, we kind of on the losing end of the spectrum. Like, it started off as a conversation where it felt like he was talking to me about things that we got to do to make the world, like, better, quote unquote. And I was like, I see where you going, even though, you know, there's other things that need to be in place first. But I see where you're going with this. And then he hit me with a curveball out of nowhere and said that, yeah, all the responsibility is on us. You know what I'm saying? We got to do everything. It's really just like a situation where if we fuck up the world, you know what I'm saying, it's really going to come down with us. And that's why I don't like all these women coming out with all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I really feel like it's unjustifiable. Like, proof over everything, blah, blah, blah. I'm hearing a whole bunch of shit. And so I was like, the way you talking is kind of giving me the impression that, you know what I'm saying, you don't like, you know, women like that. And so he gave me an extreme reaction because I said an extreme thing. And that's because, like, people don't co-sign stuff like that. So, like, if you see somebody on this list post one of these, like, reposts, right, and you see them reposting pardon Tory Lanez, let's get him out of prison. It's not an abnormal thing to me for a normal person to look at somebody like that and be like, yeah, you probably don't, like, care that much about women and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? It don't come across as extreme to a guy like me because I don't take things in an extreme way. So if I see a woman post, you know, which I haven't seen, I don't ever see this anymore. I don't know if y'all are past that era or not. Like, let me know. It don't matter if you will not, because it don't mean nothing. My real life experiences prove that that's a fucking lie. But, like, when you might see a post where it's like, men this, men that, men ain't this, men ain't that, just like kind of hypercritical of men and anything it is that they do, I don't take offense to it because, like, it's not about me clearly. I don't take it personally. It has nothing to do with me. When I said what I said to him about maybe you don't like women like that, his immediate response was an extreme version back to what I, you know, assumed that he was as an extreme. Like, I accused him of being something extreme. So he's like, oh no, immediately I'm the opposite because I don't sexually assault women and I don't beat women. So that must mean that I can't, like, be a misogynist. That must mean that I can't, you know what I'm saying, have any deep-seated issue with a woman, essentially. And I notice the same thing whenever you talk to people that have, like, racist tendencies. The bar is, like, so low when it comes to what quantifies as, like, racism. They think as long as they don't say a slur or have any urge to go out and hurt minorities, then they can't be boxed in or put into the racist category. And I've noticed that same thing when it comes to conversations about this. If you were to say something quote unquote extreme and say, oh yeah, you just don't like women, or maybe you hate whoever this person is that, you know what I'm saying, is on the opposite side of this, You know, their immediate reaction is to be extremely defensive. But we did talk more. We talked more, and weirdly enough, or strangely enough, I actually got to why this nigga don't like women like that. And he said we basically narrowed it down to his mom. His mom really fucked over his dad, and he really fucked with his dad. And I didn't know that. I'm like, damn, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. I'm sorry you feel like that, and I'm sorry that happened to you type shit, whatever the case is. But he never said this to me ever before. And so I just got to the realization, like, I'm just never going to ever say anything. That's just the nature of the situation. That's where I landed with all of this. Because generally speaking, nobody's going to admit to being the worst of the spectrum. If you say that they're the worst of the spectrum, they're just going to immediately get defensive. But he did admit to having animosity toward women because of his mom. When we talked about it a little bit more, it's kind of crazy. I didn't know about it like that, or I just wasn't putting it in those terms. Because people in my real life, I don't think we've ever had a discussion about this. Of course, I would have this conversation with a guy I haven't seen or talked to in 4 months. It's just kind of funny. Mindhunter taught me it's always the moms. Crazy way to end the stream, kind of low key. You're trying to go see Hurry Up Tomorrow now? I heard that movie was terrible, but I hope you have fun watching it. We all just flawed motherfuckers. Microaggressions are a thing for sure. You don't have to outright do bad things to a group of people you subconsciously hate. Well, I think I need to learn that in conversation more. Not to say that I don't lead people into certain, like, I'm just not trying to have a conversation and then be like, I could slowly lead you into this. I feel like that's kind of psychopathic a little bit. So sometimes I just be speaking my mind. But in that moment, I like realize, like, yeah, man, like you do hate them, but just not in the way that you want to admit to type shit. You feel me? If you want to be better, you got to start with taking a critical look at yourself and leads to uncomfortable realizations. I don't know, niggas just weird, contrarian, and got mad trauma. I recommend everyone seek therapy. I get that, but I've never been to therapy. And I'm not saying that it wouldn't benefit me, but I didn't have access to those means when I was a kid, when I was growing up. Like, sometimes I just had to figure some shit out. And a lot of times it's kind of dependent upon what decisions that you make. You a good friend for listening to them? I'm pretty attentive when it comes to listening, I'll be honest. Even when it's some shit that I really don't want to hear about. I think that's maybe fair. But, you know, I don't know if that's like a great reply. Because therapy is such a... What do you call that? A thing that requires resources to which a lot of people don't necessarily have access to. I'm not trying to necessarily say every person should have more patience, especially when you're talking to dumb niggas, some of which who have platforms. It's just more of a thing where it's like if you're trying to seek the help or some shit like that, or if you acknowledge that you need some type of assistance, you know, it's different. But I don't think I've ever said in my real life that you need to go to therapy. Because I know how hard it is to even get to that stage, and then even harder to start it, and then even harder to stick with it. And even harder to, like, want to do it when you have, like, constant triggers, and you don't even know how to communicate those things to other people. Like, yo, I don't like this. When this happens, when you're trying to apply the quote-unquote therapy in your real life, like, a lot of people might not even be receptive to that when you're trying to get better. So it's just tough. The fact that most artists who reposted are abusers themselves. I mean, it's no shock when I see something like this, and then I see, like, these are the same people that have, like, open relationships, are very invested with people like, you know, Drake, or not Drake, but Chris Brown, for example. He posts free Tory, boom, next day in prison. All of a sudden, every male that I'm seeing, like, on my timeline just refuses to accept the fact that Chris Brown has historically been abusive, and it shouldn't shock you that there is another abuse case or another violent case that he's having to deal with, unfortunately. The only issue about these dudes that I have even less respect for is they have the access to go get therapy and all these resources to not be violent when they don't need to be, and they refuse to do so. They just stay the exact same. There's like no incentive for them to, even though they have all access and resources to. So I don't feel bad for a Chris Brown or a Tory Lanez or a whoever the fuck is famous and has money and is an abuser. Obviously, you're, you could obviously get better. And I got hope that you get better, but do I feel bad for you? No, absolutely not. But at the end of the day, it's no surprise to me that a certain side, like, refuses to believe that these are just sometimes people that do bad shit. And maybe that's a representation of who they are at their core. because you refuse to believe that, you're so infatuated with this fan fiction that you've created in your head to make them either a martyr or make them an underdog when they're already at the top. You got to create a conspiracy where there's a label that's after every male that has historically had abusive pasts, but at the same time, this one time, they're saying free Tory and now they're going to have another abuse case. You think that's a label just manufacturing victims? I don't get what that means. Like, why do you keep doing that, man? And if you say, hey, yo, you got a problem, you probably got a problem with women, they won't admit to it. In conventional ways, they'll find every way to disassociate from what they deem as an extreme in that instance, because they think that the bar is as long as I don't beat them and as long as I don't fuck them if they don't want me to. Like, that's literally the bar for a lot of niggas. They don't like accept the fact that, yeah, I got like issues with that. And you can't even work towards progress if you won't admit it. That's the scary part. I'm only saying that because, like, I just have this feeling, and I'm not saying that I hope I don't have one, but I just got this feeling when I have my first kid, and I'm not, like, knock on wood, I hope I don't have, like, an accident soon or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, and I'm not saying that it would be an accident, like, children are great, but, like, I'm not trying to have one right now, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I got this really weird feeling that I'm probably gonna have a daughter first. I hope I don't. I don't want my first kid to be somebody that I have to worry about constantly. And I'm not saying I ain't got to worry about my boy, but I'm saying about the way that the world's gonna like treat my child or some shit like that. It's just way too much anxiety or like way extra shit. You get what I'm saying? The kid already in the back crying, Sean, that's not the kid. My sister's here and my nephew is sick, and so she's taking care of him here. I spent all day with him outside, and that didn't probably make it the best because it wasn't really that nice outside, but we still had really a lot of fun. So it is what it is, but he's upset. He probably went back to sleep by now. It's okay. Why you ain't go check on him when he was just crying? Well, number one, he's with his mom. Number two, they probably took a shower together. Number three, they're probably both asleep. Hope you feel better. Yeah, he's gonna be good. He usually just go through these spells. It's okay. But I don't even want to be one of those, you know, I hate even having to speak about like shit like this because I sound like a white knight, and I feel like that's so corny. I just feel like I've come to my like consensus about like women based off I was fortunate. Like even what you're saying, I'm talking about right now, I remember when I had an ear infection, and I can't help the fact that in that moment, I was shown like nothing but love and care and compassion from all the women in my family. I was crying my eyes out when I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I have this memory of going into my godmom's crib, and my sister, my mom, my cousin, my aunt, my other cousin, my godmother herself, and her daughter. And I think it was somebody else. It was just nothing but women in the bed. And then they wanted me to lay in the bed. And then I laid in the bed and I just cried my eyes out. I just kept crying. Because when you get an ear infection, the shit hurt. Like, the shit is OD. But I fell asleep. I just felt like mad, you know what I'm saying? Safe and vulnerable and all this other bullshit, blah, 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 XYZ. But that be what I be thinking about. Like, I don't have any experiences where, like, I wasn't, you feel me, like allow safe spaces when it came to women. And so I think that's kind of shaped my, thoughts or experiences. Like whenever I kind of like default to that a lot of the time, where it's like in my moment of like extreme pain or whatever physically, I felt like I wasn't like an off limits type of reaction that I could have. I felt like I could react in whatever way I wanted to, and I wouldn't be like, shamed for XYZ. Where I had to be either cognizant or like aware of my reaction before if I was around like male family members or whatever the case is. You feel what I'm saying? So I just have a different experience, and I realize that shapes people's views. So I can't be mad at why people think the way that they think, especially if they're a young male. Those relationships are important as you come up and shit like that. But I'm only speaking from what I've lived, number one. And number two, I feel like I don't have to be where I've been my whole life either. I don't have to stay stuck in the past. I could take the good parts because I've got horrible experiences too. Like, you see the situation I'm explaining to you right now, I have an experience that's like 10 times worse, the opposite of that. And so I don't have to live in the past and only take, you know what I'm saying, the negative and apply that to my present and prevent that from helping me create a future that I would want to exist in. And I feel like that's what a lot of these people do. Like, they're stuck and they just refuse to go forward. They refuse to let shit go. And they also don't want to be a victim to anything unless it's convenient. You get what I'm saying? It's just frustrating talking to certain people about shit like this because it's like very dishonest and very not even emotionally, but very manipulative. You know what I mean? Like, you get put in a corner, or you get like, okay, I know what you are, I know what you're doing, and they're like, no, I'm not like that. And then like all the information that you're giving me is leading me to the fact that this is exactly what happened, and this is what you just don't want to admit to because you'd rather be, you know, ambiguous than admit you might have a flaw in your logic. You know, it's just crazy to me. But I think it's really as simple as, or it comes down to, you know, as simple as you just not liking women. Nobody want to say that though. You get what I'm saying? Nobody wants to admit it because it sounds bad. You don't want to sound bad. You want, everybody's a good person, but everyone has these controversial views, but everyone's also a great person at the same time. Like, there's not room in that conversation for all those things to exist at the same time, unfortunately. You don't get it though. Not liking women and feeling like a victim to women. It's frustrating. Because it make me, like I said, I was never the guy, bro. If you saw me when I was a teenager, my trajectory is not this. Like, this is not, I'm not talking about what I'm doing now. I'm just talking about my way of thinking is not this. It's dead not. I would look at, like, the things that I'm saying right now, they seem so unnecessary to have to say. I'm not saying I was evil. I'm saying, like, there's no need to say that because I feel like it goes without saying. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like to say that, you'd have to have witnessed something insane happen to you to even have to bring this up as a point of conversation. You get what I'm saying? Like, to me, I just felt like those things were just so open-ended. Like, okay, obviously, like, nobody need to say that. Or if somebody does say that, they looking for brownie points or some shit like that. Now it's like, oh, you actually do have to say that. You actually do have to, like, reiterate that. Where you thought that this was just so obvious and so regular of a thing, like, yeah, nah, like, there's no way somebody would look at that, misconstrue that, and really talk from this perspective. Like, I'll be looking at it like, nigga, don't you have a... You ain't got a girl that you embarrassed to have this opinion about? You ain't got like you ain't got an experience that you got with somebody that lets you know that this is a weird way of thinking? I understand, man. I feel like it's too easy to be like, niggas is just, they don't talk to people, but some of them just don't talk to people, I guess. Evil's understanding evil. A lot of people don't understand evil, and it affects how they see things. It's not normal to be able to see the evil and choose not to do it. Wait, hold on. It's not normal to be able to see the evil and choose not to do it. Can you explain that to me differently? Because my brain is already fried. Nobody talked to. Maybe. Some don't care. I mean, some people want to live in that space too, and that don't absolve women either. Women, you know what I'm saying, project that same misogyny and that same like ideology a lot of the time too, because it's comfortable for them. Like, some women prefer to be objectified and just, you know, put up in like a case to a certain extent and used, you know, when they feel like it's convenient for them or whatever the case is. Like, a lot of women perpetuate that too, and they don't want more because whatever it is that they living in is comfortable enough or adequate enough for them. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of people that kind of reiterate that men don't be supporting each other and talking to each other. I mean, I think our version of support just looks different. That was another point. That's another thing. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I was younger, like, I kind of accepted the fact that men and women do things differently. Like, I don't need the way we do things to look the exact same, to be fair. But I do think that there should be, you know, outlets for those things. And I don't think you should look at those things like it's wrong or weird or bad. You know what I'm saying? If you have moments of expression, you want to like cry or whatever the case is, like it's not that serious. I'm gonna look at you funny. I might even make a joke about it, you know what I'm saying, because we homies or whatever the case is. But you can do it, you know. It's fine, it's fair. I don't know, people's response to life and trauma is so circumstantial and different. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't laugh at somebody I barely knew that just came up to me crying. If I like had a couple conversations with you, I'm not gonna have that vibe. But I got some niggas where it's like, damn, you lost your dad? And it's like, yeah. And we laugh. Like, what the fuck can we like, what do we do? You know? It's a little bit dysfunctional, but I feel like I said before, like, you need a little of that dysfunction because other people are also dysfunctional. So you need to be able to connect to a certain extent with people that aren't technically fully fixed. So I don't just be like, send this nigga off to therapy as soon as, especially if you can say things that kind of keep everybody on a reasonable moral scale. Like, I know niggas that obviously have problems. I got problems, XYZ, but not this problem. There's certain problems you're not allowed to have. You're not allowed to touch children and be in my presence. You're not allowed to beat women and be in my presence. You're not allowed to, you know, disrespect your parents and be in my presence. Unless they did something horrible to you. And even at that point, I'll just tell you to leave them alone. You're not allowed to not take care of your kids. You're not allowed to fuck over people. You're not allowed to treat people poorly, like without respect. That's all I'm saying. There's just certain no-nos. Everything else, generally speaking, is fair game, I feel like. It's just a couple commandments that you can't break, and that's it. It's not that hard. I know nobody asking for perfection, but there's a couple things you should just be aware of. That's all. I'm not one of the Twitter niggas that need, like, I be seeing some shit, you know what I'm saying, every now and again, and that's why I forgot. Somebody was hitting me up talking about, bro, you ain't posted on Twitter, and like, can you update your Twitter? Cause like, the last thing I put up was when I was in the hospital, and I didn't even know that. I've been gone for like 3 months or so. I don't remember when that was. Maybe 2 months, 1 month. I don't know. But every time I like maybe log in for like a 30 seconds, I see something. I'm like, yeah, nah, this is OD. I'm off. I'm out of here. There's no way. Yeah, the 10 semen commandments. I just need you to abide by those things. We just got to agree on these things, and everything else is fair, bro. I accept broken people, you know, people with problems, addictions, issues, whatever the case may be. Like, everything's workable, but those things are not negotiable. Those things cannot be interpreted any other way than how I see it, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, but only for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I built my tea up so well, so I'm good. Yeah, I didn't. Unfortunately, I see a whole bunch of shit, and that's partially my fault. But at the same time, it's not. At the end of the day, they making a choice to do wrong. Someone can have the right words and motivation, but if they don't choose the right way, they're gonna make the same mistakes. Basically, emotional intelligence to be a great father to a daughter one day. I think you just want all of your kids to be the best version of themselves they can be, and having nieces and nephews is great training. Yeah, when I be seeing my nephew, I just be like, dude, like I see so many ways that you could just go wrong. Not to say that he will. Obviously, he has a great foundation, but like me, bro, I was not I was not taken care of the right way when I was a kid, bro. I was trying, but I had lights. I definitely had lights. You see all the possibilities in the little ones? Yeah, that's my little dog. That's my little dog. I don't ever look at him and be like, damn, bro, it's gonna suck one day, you know, because you're gonna be here without me, and I hope you establish, you know, enough connections and groups with people, you know what I'm saying, that can take care of you. You get it? I don't think a lot of these guys understand that, like, you're gonna need people, bro. Like, that includes women. I mean, you're gonna need people to take care of you. I'm just speaking from practical life. Like, I'm just putting the thing to the back burner for a second. Like, yes, clearly you have to what's the word? Treat people with respect because it's the right thing to do, but practically speaking, you need people, bro. You're going to need people, dude. Like, why purposefully go out of your way to try to be against people, and for reasons that don't even mean anything to you? You're more obsessed with trying to prove a point or stick to a narrative than you are with genuinely just being like, all right, let me be a human for a second and realize, like, this is kind of crazy. Like, I don't even care about the situation, but I'm just like upset because I don't like this particular group of people, and I'm using this as a way to get my hatred out. And I'm such a coward that I could never say it out loud, so I have to do it in ways like this that make me look strange. It's crazy. It's nuts to me. So I don't know. I'm just of the awareness that life is gonna hit every person, and I'm just saying we need each other, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know what this wave of we don't need women is, or we don't need men. Like, we need each other. I don't get it. I don't understand it, man. It just is what it is. The orange man supporters support him because he was gonna fuck over others. Some of them, yeah, they definitely did. They definitely did support him because of that. Humans are social beings. We are. Bro, I be thinking about certain shit, and I'm like, dude, do you realize, like, obviously I have a friend group. I have a good family that I think, I have decent relationships with people, like, I think that are really good. I think people love me. I think people that don't know me sometimes appreciate, me, my style, my look, whatever the case is. You know how crazy I would go if I didn't see people? Just seeing people? Like, that's so insane to me. Like, what do you think I could, like, do any of this by myself? Like, this is insane to me. I sometimes used to picture that when I was a kid. Like, what if I was here all alone? I remember that happened to me one day when I was, like, really, really little. I think my dad and my mom both did that to me. Not to say that they, like, tried to abuse me or nothing, but, like, my mom, I woke up one day when I was, like, 4 or 5 years old, and there was just nobody in the house. And I was bawling my eyes out because I thought I was all by myself. I thought I was so alone. I'm like, bro, where did everybody go? I knew I couldn't go outside. I looked out the window. There's like a ghost town outside. I was just like, dude, this is insane. When is everybody coming back? And then my dad did it. Same thing. But I had the same reaction. Like, I know that I know people aren't built to be by themselves, is what I'm saying. And I know how I felt. I'll never forget how I felt when I was a kid and that happened. So I just know. You know what I'm saying? I just know that we supposed to be, together and locked in and shit like that, That's just me, though. That's just me, though, chat. That's just me, though, chat. There is absolutely no way they took that just now. Are you serious? Oh, they didn't. What the fuck? Wait. Oh, they did. I'd look at that wrong. But yeah, man, the sun is out. Well, it's not out. It's cloudy. It's a cloudy day. But I'm about to eat some food, hit the hay, try to have a great day and whatnot. Make you sad? No, I don't look at it as sad. That's why I appreciate people. That's why that's why I try to, outside of the trolls and shit like that, like, I try to treat people, especially in my real life, like, with kindness and shit like that, because I know we need each other, bro. And it's the worst feeling to be alone or feel like you don't have anybody. Get what I'm saying? Night chat, stay right. Yeah, y'all be good, because I'm gonna be back in just a few moments, well, days or whatnot. But if I'm back on Monday, then don't be surprised, but I most likely will be back Tuesday. So stay tuned, lock in. We will be completing LA Noire next time, friend. And yeah, shit, man, go lock in. I'm sorry, excuse me.
I could be a fan in the mosh pit, and Cardi could literally pour anything in my mouth. I will be honest with you.